Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good wherever you're at, and I hope you're having a great day. Today, I have a friend in the kitchen who's visiting, and she is from Lincoln. Her name is Renee, and she's going to be helping me cook today. That's who you see, so you recognize the apron, but you may not recognize the face. Today we're going to be making something kind of fun because we happen to have some game. And the game that we have, this is a new form of game for me anyway, is Dove. I know. Dove, not like Dove, the ice cream that you get in little pieces at the grocery store, but actual Dove the game. And I really don't know much about them, except for a friend of mine said that, they make fantastic poppers. So today we're going to do that. We're going to talk about poppers, how to make these unusual poppers made out of game, and what goes in them. Okay? For this recipe, you can make this as small or as big as that you want, but the friend of the friend was able to procure about, I think it was around 12 whole doves, I think. So that would make, which with the double breasts, I'd make around 24. So they need to be obviously cleaned and then pulled off the bone. This is if you can just show us like how small they are. They're very dainty, about the size of a chicken liver, now that I think about it. And then once you do that, you want to rinse them under some cold water really, really well. And then what you do is you make a simple marinade. Now in this case, the marinade is a teriyaki, and we just opted for buying a commercial made teriyaki from the grocery store. It has garlic in it. You could make it from scratch. It's basically soy sauce, garlic, sugar, fresh ginger, and sesame seeds, I believe. I think I'm hitting all the main things. But the pre-made is really good. And then after you have all your Dove breasts, and I guess you could make this with chicken liver, now to think about it. If you're like, what are some other ways that I can make this? I don't know anybody who hunts. You could probably easily do that with chicken liver. It'd be like it'd be like ramaki, not mock ramaki. Anyway, once you clean them and get the blood out of them, then you'd want to put them in this marinade, and 2 hours to overnight is the ideal time. I did about 4 hours, I think, on this before we pulled them out today to assemble. So then you're going to need about 12. Remember, when you get the hot peppers, you're going to be halving them, which is what we did, right? You're going to be having them, so you're going to have double. So if you get 6, you're really going to get 12. I think in this case, you guys picked up about a dozen.
It seems like that,
Yep, so we got about 24. And then we picked up about 3 packages of bacon, because how in the heck can you have too much bacon, right?
Thinly.
Yeah, thin. You definitely want thin bacon. I've tried this one time, making regular poppers with thick bacon, and they don't turn out well, okay? Even if I know you love bacon. If you love bacon, you know. But when you fold it over and when it goes to cook in the oven, it doesn't cook evenly. Okay, so you want thin bacon. Hickory smoke's fine. You also want plenty of cream cheese. So we picked up several packages, and you want to have it at room temperature. This has been out for a while, so this is really pliable and soft. And that's all you need, folks. The fresh Dove breasts, if you have them, or if you want to go, ramaki style, chicken livers will work. Marinate them. You need your bacon, and you need your
cream cheese.
Your cream cheese and your jalapenos. One thing I gotta say is we both worked on this together, and boy, do you have to clean those jalapenos well, and then clean your hands well. Good grief, I washed my hands twice, and then finally I found that using lava and a scrub brush, no less, a scrub brush like this one, was the only way to get that chemical off my hands. Capsaicin, for sure. And I wear contact lenses. So, I mean, that's serious. That's no goofing around. And here's a quick cheater's trip if you're going to need to know how to clean your hands really, really, really well. After you clean them, whether you use soap and water, or if you, in this case, I used lava and a scrub brush, stick your finger in your mouth. If you can feel any kind of hotness, remember, that's going to be hotness that you could rub into your nose, your eyes, or your you-know-what if you're going to go to the bathroom, and you do not want that, folks. So clean your hands really well. You don't have to use gloves. As you know on my channel, I never use gloves, right? And it's just unnecessary plastic. So we cleaned our hands really well after we cleaned these, and we didn't leave any of the seeds or the pith in here because, you know what, that just gets so darn hot that you can't enjoy the marinade or the Dove or the liver if you're using that, or the bacon, right? You want to enjoy all those things. So we're making little boats, if you will, with the cream cheese. And what would you say? You put about maybe 2 teaspoons of cream cheese in each one of those?
Approximately. Yeah, approximately. You know, depending on the size of your pepper, of course.
Yep, and we got real big ones at the store. So then now we're going to, and you might want toothpicks. Toothpicks are a good idea, just because the bacon can get curly and strange on you when you wrap them. And that's not a bad thing. It's not going to make the popper taste bad by any means, but it just makes it not as quite as cute and pretty. So we'll see if we need a toothpick. If we do, we have them right behind the oven that we'll go ahead and wrap. But you'll want to, be generous, whether you're using the chicken liver or the Dove. And you get a little bit of marinade on there. That's not hurting anything. Neither are the sesame seeds. That just adds flavor. I found that basically you know how I am with high elevation, but when I do anything bacon wrapped in the oven, 400 degrees seems to be the magic trick here in getting the bacon to crisp up on the jalapeno popper. And that's the same when I make bacon for breakfast in a 9x13 cookie sheet that's lipped. So there got them filled really nicely with the cream cheese and with the Dove breasts. And now we're just gonna flip that bacon. You want to use a whole strip, unless you got stuck with some really crummy short jalapeno poppers at the grocery store, and sometimes that happens. It doesn't matter, they still taste good. Then you can halve the bacon, but these are pretty stinking big jalapenos, so we can use the whole bacon piece on there, and you can just rub it around. And what you're also doing too is you're keeping that cream cheese in place, right? And then if you have the ends tucked down, you're fine, but if you don't, you can always reinforce with the toothpick, and then just pull the toothpicks out when you bring them out of the oven for eating later. I should mention that you could make these in advance if you had a party or a football game, tailgating. You could do these easily 24 hours in advance. In fact, we did some already earlier. That's why there's some stains on the pan. No biggie though. You could also line your pan with parchment paper or tin foil, making easy cleanup, but I just didn't think about doing that. Another thing that I probably should talk about and that I didn't think of is dipping sauce. Now, I happen to have some homemade ranch in the refrigerator, but boy, I bet you could do all kinds of different dipping sauces with these. And we're just going to find out as we go if we want one or what we might need.
We taste as we go sometimes.
Yep, exactly. I'm slightly leaning towards, I'll bet a sweet and sour might be good as a dipping sauce. I'm just guessing. I've never eaten Dove, so I have no idea what to expect. We're also going to have bruschetta, if I said that right. Sometimes I say that right, sometimes I don't. And that's where you see these beautiful tomatoes in the background that she brought from her garden. Aren't those gorgeous heirloom tomatoes? Those are Virginia sweets?
Virginia sweets, yes. They're very hearty. Not a whole lot of moisture inside. They look like kind of a beefsteak tomato on the inside, if you're familiar with that. Not a whole lot of seeds on the inside, so they're just a sturdy tomato that holds up very well in a lot of different dishes.
Beautiful, beautiful tomatoes, folks. I'm here to tell you. Now, if you were making a whole plate of these, you would go ahead and you might end up with this, a whole tray, I should say. And this would suit your football crowd great. You'd put that in a 400-degree oven, which we will do, but we will not do today. We just wanted to show you how to make your initial ones. And you would bake that. I think I added on a little extra time because I like mine crispy. And so I think I added an extra 6 minutes, so it's a total of 30 minutes at 400 degrees. But you can go longer. I also used I was looking for where I set that, but my thermometer, I don't know where that's at. There it is. I have one of these stick thermometers, and I wanted to make double sure because this is don't quote me on this, but the meat was a dark meat, and so I wanted to be doubly sure that it was over 165. Now, it was certainly way over 165, but that's fine because it's already going to be moist. It's like cooking chicken breast or chicken thighs. You're really not going to overcook it. You have to really screw up to overcook it, okay? But we did do a couple sample ones, and we'll be glad to just show you what those look like. That's what it looks like when it turns, when you pull it out of the oven and you eat it, folks. Doesn't that look good? Crispy, crunchy, delicious Dove poppers. So I'll put the recipe for this down in the show notes, and we're dying. Should we just have a bite? Should we take a bite of one? What do you think?
I'll take a bite.
Okay. Are you cool with saying hi to everybody and having a bite?
Let's see how the Dove poppers taste.
All right, folks, we're going in. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. We'll figure out what kind of dips we're going to use. We might not use any dips. It's pretty flavorful. Is it moist? Is it a moist, like a chicken thighs moist?
It is. It is.
All right, folks.
I don't think it needs any.
Holy moly. Holy moly. I do have some hot honey, but I don't think it sounds like we're going to need that. So we might just eat those as is. So I know the weather's getting cooler. We're getting ready for those football games, those tailgaters. Go ahead and try these Dove poppers. You don't have to do poppers the way everybody does them on the internet. You can do anything inside of a popper. You could even do a little piece of chicken, I suppose, if you wanted. But I'll put the show notes below. I'll go ahead and put the recipe for this. Thank you for watching today. I hope wherever you're watching, you're having a great morning, a great day, a great evening, and that you're having good times with family and friends. And I'm going to see you next time.